All right, this is the monthly meeting of the East Haddam Conservation Commission. We call the order at 7 o'clock. John, you want to start the roll around?
Henry Beard.
David Walsh. Barry Bernard.
Pat Capel.
Bernie Gillis.
And Josina. And Pat is here as a guest. Anybody who doesn't have an agenda, there's a couple of extra agendas over there. First order of business is appointment of alternates. Barry, you can take Alan's place tonight.
Okay.
David, I guess you will be Susan.
I can do that.
Okay. Are there any changes to the agenda, or do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Anybody opposed? Okay. All right, a couple of quick updates. We now have QR codes for every one of the reserves. And I've got most of them up. I've got some. Anybody going near Roaring Brook? Want to tack them up on the kiosk at Roaring Brook?
You do that.
Sabine, Hayward, or Lefebvre?
Sabine.
You want them on both?
I go back
Just
to
one or no?
Hayward.
You want it on the back one?
Many of them have two, so I had two done. There are some that only have one.
I think there's a back one, but there's not really good access to that one.
Yeah, if there's not a kiosk, don't worry about it.
There should be kiosks at everything.
Just
Well,
staples.
Some of them had two kiosks, or like Nichols.
Oh, right,
I actually
yeah.
had to make an extra one because I put one at each end, and I'll put one by the disc. So
Staple these up to the pole.
what I've been doing is just putting a roofing nail and just putting them right above the map container, figuring, you know, if you're looking for a map and there's nothing there, your eyes should just go up.
Okay.
We have, I skipped the minutes, sorry, we'll back up. Does anybody have any comments on the latest minutes that were sent? You did make some corrections. If not, motion to approve the minutes,
So moved.
second.
Second.
Anybody opposed?
Abstain. I'm abstaining because I wasn't here.
Okay. All right, back to this. Barry and Alan are okay in terms of their appointments. However, many of the rest of us, we just forgot to do it last year. So, Cam, myself, Susan, who I'm waiting to hear from, Bernie, John, and David need to be reappointed for 2-year terms. Cam, you would go to June 30th, 26, as would I, as would John.
Because this is including last year that we forgot to do it for.
Yes. Linda said we had to make it retroactive. So okay, Susan, Bernie, and David would go June 30th, 27. Is that okay with? All right, and then I will.
I always thought this was a lifetime appointment.
Yeah. Well,
It's a lifetime sentence.
it might
sentence.
As long as you can hold the chainsaw, it's an appointment. That's not Susan, so, all right. Just for your information, Board of Selectmen at their July meeting did in fact approve Gary's resignation, which leaves us with the one opening for alternate, which will be through June 30th, 27. And Pat is here tonight to discuss why he just can't wait to be named an alternate. You want to say something, Pat?
I would love to be part of this. Been an outdoor guy all my life, and I've already started on the trails. Adopted Hatch is one of mine. The Sabine is one of mine. I love all of them. I've already discussed with my wife. She's retiring next year, so we're going to plan on once a week hitting the trails.
You're hired.
I don't know if I shouldn't say it. If I take my wife, is it still peaceful out there?
Careful.
I know. That's why I said I hope I should say it. So she would love it. She would love it.
The procedure is for us to make a recommendation. So I look for a motion to recommend that the Board of Selectmen approve Pat as an alternate for the Conservation Commission.
So moved.
Everybody in favor? Aye. Anybody abstain? Okay, it's passed. So Linda already has all the paperwork ready to go to tomorrow morning's meeting. So you can probably officially figure that it's,
So what does that actually mean? That alternate, what is my duties or requirements?
there's technically 6 people who are full commissioners and 3 alternates. But as you can see tonight, the alternates usually come anyway, every week, because we kind of never know who's going to make it or not. And, you know, practically speaking, there's not much reason that you shouldn't be involved in the discussions. So,
This is the first Tuesday of every month thing.
yeah, I will get the calendar to you.
I think one of the other aspects is that an alternate is not really a voting member at that meeting.
4. All right, so I will pass that on to Linda. And I think a lot of the other things we can cover during the regular business. So, Bernie, if you want to do your subcommittee report, stewardship.
Out to Roaring Brook and weed whacked the power lines. Barry had been out there and told me that it was tough to get through. I got a notice from Eversource that they're going to be flying over the power lines the next few weeks. So if you see them, they're just inspecting the lines now that they're all done. I went up to Gelston and weed whacked for an hour. You said it was still bad. Huh? Need some more?
I took care of it.
You did.
I weed whacked the bypass and I saw where you had come over the Bog Ridge,
Yeah.
but the other side, you couldn't find it because the ferns had spread out so much.
Yeah.
So I cleaned that path all out. And I widened a little bit around the Bog Ridge. The only problem is coming up the red trail from below. I trimmed it back, but it's in areas about this deep, and it was like, I'm not getting through there with a battery operated trimmer.
Is it multiflora or
Well, it's multiflora, it's all sorts of
still
grasses,
grass?
because that's a sunny area.
Yeah.
And that's where the horses go through and they chew it up, and it, you know, it just all sorts of weeds in there, poison ivy.
With all the rain and everything, well, last month,
That's
beginning
how
of,
you also blaze that trail, the bypass. Or I missed it the last time. The blazes are in there and I weed whacked all the way through.
yeah, it's part of my report was, painted the red over the pink. Is that what you mean?
No.
No.
Where we cut it through, built the bog bridge and then went
Yeah.
through around the
That
horses.
connection,
That's now red, but there was a pink trail as well.
Yeah.
Oh, the pink ribbon, yeah, you replace the pink ribbons with the blazes. Is that what you mean? Yeah.
Well, it was painted red, not pink. Susan did that. And I went over red, so it's all red now, but you don't have to change the maps.
Everything is fine on that bypass now.
Good. Okay, so what does that say? Oh, I repaired the string trimmer. I found a YouTube video that I couldn't string the line in through the unit, and so I called up Ego, and they said I needed a new head for it. Buy a new head, which was $60 or something like that. So I searched YouTube, and it turns out you pull the whole thing apart. What happens is you get small twine and grass up between one of the rotating discs, and it forces the head down so you can't feed the string in. And, YouTube has saved my life on more occasions than one, but yeah, so that works really great now. Easy to load.
Comes out, I have another head because I broke the guards around it. So all I had was the spinning head. So I had to buy a new one.
What kind do you have? Oh, really? I have to show you this. This is really phenomenal.
I can tell you the dangers of not having those guards.
That's why I bought a new one. Yeah, I'm looking at it going, there's something missing here.
A person we all know, and it's not me, caught a rock right in the wrong place. So
Without a guard on? Yeah, I know. I took mine off my DeWalt. It's dangerous.
it's dangerous with a guard.
So yeah, that little episode took me 2 hours, but that was a good lesson. Let's see, I went up to the top of Hatch and put wood preservative on the picnic table. I don't know if anybody noticed that. See if we can get another couple of years out of it.
Question about Hatch. Since we were working on a day when you couldn't see your hand in front of your face, can you now see better with those two trees on the corner down?
Oh yeah, but more need to go. Yeah, you got to get over there, but oh yeah, definitely.
We rush on that since we did that. Still,
Did I brush hog? Yeah, I went back up there. Yeah, I think that was last month. So I painted red over pink on the Gelston Trail. I Hayward the whole thing, and there were 4 trees. Chagru, what did we do at Chagru? We weed whacked the kiosk area. Yeah, I was out there for some other reason. Oh, I went to Colchester, and on my way back, weed whacked that kiosk area. It had grown over, and I noticed that the town had mowed the Japanese knotweed. Not the whole thing, but they went through and they opened up that parking lot a little. which was good. A tree at Harris that Alan reported. And while I was there, I also walked the white and the green trail. There's a green trail at Harris? Maybe. Roaring Brook, tree across the red trail. Did you report that, Barry? Tree across the red trail. I forget where it was now. I hiked the Nichols blue, part of the blue on the east side. That was clear. Went back and hiked Chagru, the white and the orange, a couple of trees there. Lefebvre, the whole thing, there were 2 trees. Needed to be cleared. And I had to weed whack around. Somebody, I think Alan told me about that. I had to weed whack around the kiosk and the entrance to the Blue Trail on both sides. Hayward, we had a second sign that we made for Hayward, and I posted it on a tree. I was out there and a couple weeks ago, and a couple of ladies, they hike it every day, and they said, you really need, nobody can see, they go right by
Coming
it.
down the road, yeah.
So what I want to do is, I just stuck that sign on one of the trees, coming from the south direction. You can see it really well. And I want to move that post and put it out near the road, and put signs on both sides of it. So it's more easy to see. And I got a call from Alan that there's a tree across the ADA trail at Petrel. I got to get out there. I was tied up with my sister today, so I couldn't help. Mary just texted me that there's a tree across Hatch too. You don't know how big that is, do you? I didn't get a picture.
They didn't send me a picture or anything.
I'll take both saws with me. So that's it.
I did look at Salmon River Overlook.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
It looks like the town must have come through a second time, maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yes.
But probably need to fresh hog a trail to each of the trees, and they're gonna need to be weeded in the cage. But from what I could see, everything looks good except one of the apple trees. The weeds are as tall as the cage, so I don't know what the status of the tree is, but we can get out there and see what it is. But you know, I think same as we've done, just kind of go to the trees. If the town mows, they'll just open it up a little bit more.
You want to hike around the perimeter, or?
You know, you asked me the question if I'd ever seen anybody there, and yeah, I have, but
You have.
but they kind of parked, went in, sat at the gazebo.
Yeah.
You know, one guy was riding his bike. He used it as his lunch stop. He said, yeah, I always stop here for lunch. Another couple said, yeah, sometimes we come and have a beer.
Yeah.
I have yet to see anybody ask, hey, you know,
Yeah.
why isn't there a path here?
Yeah. Right.
You know, if you got the time, put one around the outside, but I think right now it's probably better to just go to the trees so that we can weed. I'll try and get out there at the end of next week and do some stuff, and you don't even really have to, because the grass isn't that high that you can't just kind of go through it and spray it.
I mean, it's not that difficult. It's an hour, you know, cut around it.
I don't know that very many people stop there. They head down to the boat launch and they probably don't even know it exists.
What are your thoughts on maybe a picnic table there? Clear out an area and put a picnic table and maybe a sign out on the road that has a picnic table on it or something. I mean, it's basically, it isn't any good for like hiking. It's just a rest spot.
You'll be picking up garbage there.
You might, yeah.
The biggest issue there is the knotweed keeps encroaching.
Yeah.
And you know, even where we laid the tarp down, the edge of the tarp is now up like this. It's like, you know, I don't know that you're gonna lose that view unless you just do it a couple times a year. And we all know what a pain in the butt that was to get out there and just clear one small area. So I'm not, picnic table would be nice. I don't know how you keep the area clear unless we just keep putting, unless we put a picnic table on a tarp. The only place in knotweed is not growing is where we nail down a tarp.
Oh, yeah.
And we could, I mean, there's no, leave tarp
Yeah, I
there.
was just, we need to utilize it somehow, and it's not a hiking trail, so if we could do something to make it more of a destination. What's that, John?
Do we have a picnic table?
We could build one, yeah.
I draw people. I mean, it's not an unpleasant spot. The trees are lovely, and
I think it's gonna be more popular in the wintertime when people are watching the eagles and stuff like that.
Well, you know, if you want to build a picnic table, I think we can invest in a couple of tarps, heavy duty tarps. We'll put them down and
Yeah, I'll think about it, yeah.
Did you get any more feedback about motorbikes on Roaring Brook? I think it was Ms. Rotino called it in.
just the one. You asked me where.
I went out there, I didn't see any evidence of it.
You asked me where the people lived.
Yeah.
That had reported it. And actually,
They're on Clark Hill.
in her follow-up, she said, well, a neighbor saw them. She just heard motorbikes. And
They live across the river across the Roaring Brook on Clark Hill.
nobody's reported anything else again. And is it you, Barry, that saw somebody at Nichols and
I saw some dirt bike tracks in Roaring Brook. But the quad tracks I saw on the dirt road on Florida Road, you could see someone went up there with a quad, but they didn't go into Roaring Brook with that. I did see dirt bike track.
No, Joe was talking about Nichols.
oh,
Where you
yeah,
came
because I
across
was gonna
that,
say,
yeah.
you know,
I met the guy
those
over there.
people, you know, they do it once, they get caught, and they go, okay, well, we'll go try it someplace else. But I haven't gotten any reports of people on Roaring Brook again.
They're gonna do it. You're not gonna stop them, but all we can do is do our best.
Well, and you know, Jim keeps saying he's gonna put cameras out there, but your experience with cameras is.
No, it's been mixed. Under the power lines at our new preserve, we have a camera posted right over one of our red no motorized vehicles, no hunting signs, and it just faces right down the road, and it hasn't so far been vandalized, and the ATV seems to have dropped. I think it's probably just one of many reasons is the camera. There's some better posting and fencing in other places, but it seems to have helped.
It's not overwhelming. And I'm not sure we're gonna stop everybody, but, you know, we haven't, since Davidson. Davidson was the
Yeah.
worst case where they just kept going in there.
Right.
but I haven't had a report that they're in there.
I didn't get up to Davidson this month, so I haven't seen.
Usually Kathy reports it, because she's
Yeah.
right down the road.
Right.
So I'm not sure how big of an issue it is at current time. As long as it's gonna be a case by case, if people keep abusing it. All right, outreach and promotion. I did get an apology from the editor of the East Haddam News. He had the vernal pools article in, and somehow it got dropped from the proofs, and he didn't notice it. So when I sent him a message, he said, I was trying to be tactful. I said, I've been traveling, so I might have missed it. He went, my fault. So that was in last week, and I believe he said the Monarchs was going to be in 2 weeks ago. He said the Monarchs would be in last week, but I think it assume the Monarch article will be in probably this coming week. But if anyone has something they want to write up, wildlife or whatever, feel free. Climate resilience, John?
Okay, not too much happening, a little bit of a lull, the grants we had initially thought about through FEMA, the BRIC grant is no longer on the table. We do have the final report, I think that was mentioned at a previous meeting, and now it's on the town website under community climate resilience, town resilience, I think. So that's the Circa report, worked on for about a year and a half. Most recent development was that Goodspeed has the possibility of getting the Chevy building, which is kind of the linchpin of moving some of their properties, namely the rehearsal studio, out of the flood area, potential flood area. And there's some state funding for brownfield work that Goodspeed has said that they're going to be looking at. So this is in the long range plan of them having a new building on that site, which would house the rehearsal studio, which would disappear, and a clear channel would be built to reduce the effects of flooding along the Norwich Road. The other issue that I've been working on, as you all know, is the grant from the 8 Mile River, Wildon Scenic River, to work in the middle school on curriculum, science curriculum, having to do with macroinvertebrates. And we're actually, at the moment, writing that curriculum, and that's moving along quite well. We've been in touch with Pat Young and Abby at the 8 Mile. We're going to actually do some filming to incorporate that into the program in the fall at the middle school. We're going to do that filming on the 8 Mile, looking at macroinvertebrates and other elements of the watershed, the ecosystem. I think that's about it. That report.
Liaison reports. And so Pat, if you wanted to be a liaison to anything, you could too, because alternates are going to some of the meetings. IWWC.
Yeah, no permit activity relevant to this commission.
Planning and zoning, Bernie?
Yeah, nothing really, just the Ludus redevelopment. And, I explained that, what was going on with that last month. But, that's possible, yeah.
Will it be bigger than the
That's
little
what
toys?
SLR came up with. potential for a roundabout at the end of North Moodus Road, 149. Joe Williams, right?
So excuse me,
It's just a dream.
there's a state sign up in front of the old town hall. Does that mean actually anything's being done? Or- There was a big state white sign. East
See
Haddam
that.
redevelopment. I saw it today driving.
I think it's been there a while.
Has it been there a while? Yeah, okay.
Is that considered, is that in reference to the cleaning up the brownfield, or?
I guess I don't
I'd have to read it, yeah. You think it's been there a while?
I think so, yeah.
And with respect to the Chevy building or the Ford building, is that known contamination or suspected contamination because of its past use?
I don't know.
It's known,
Excuse me.
it's known contamination, yeah. It was an auto dealership for 50, 60 years. So. I don't think a phase 2 has been done yet.
All right, there was no open space meeting this month. 8 Mile,
I will have to defer to Bernie. I was not feeling very well last week and I cut out after the dinner portion of the meeting, so.
Yeah, we just talked about Riverfest. We got funding for next year, so we're all set there. Unless they decide to claw it back, which they could. You know, they can do anything now.
It's October.
Hmm? But Riverfest? Yeah, first week of October, yeah. So, I forget, no, second week. It's like one of the teens. 19, 18, 17. Yeah, that'll be on a Saturday, and we're trying to consolidate a little bit, so we might be in conjunction with the land trust at one table, have our maps and everything together. But providing the weather's good, that should go forward. Yeah.
Ask, when you say you got funding for next year, what generally does that mean? For the operations? Or
Yeah, staff and, yeah, we have a budget of $209,000. And it comes from national parks. And that's for staffing and education and outreach, monitoring,
Funding grants too.
funding grants?
funding grants also, yeah. And that's another point, is that, you know, there was $30,000 left over from the last funding. And Pat's trying to get rid of that by September. She has to use it or lose it. And she came up with a couple of different ideas. I think I asked this committee last week if they had any thoughts on that, last month, if they had any thoughts on that, and kind of put together a couple of different ideas that we might pursue. So I think that money's been pretty much used up. But if there's anybody has any thoughts on, you know, future grants from 8 Mile, feel free to weigh in.
Ambulance.
now under discussion from commission members to talk about the trail booklet.
Trail booklet, yeah, right.
Another thing that
That wasn't high on her priority list.
it was, I'm pretty sure Dave Gumbar announced at the meeting that the Nature Conservancy is picking up 2 new parcels to add on to Burnham Brook. One on the Salem side and one just south along the old West Road, that area. So, trying to get a bigger preserve.
So it kind of brings to mind the talk about linking our Lefebvre Preserve to the Burnham Brook, across the river, across the brook there, the bridge issue, I think, as we talked about.
It's high on our priority list. We're just,
Yeah.
even if if it's high on the priority
It's
list.
such an extraordinarily beautiful area. Now that it's part of an even larger area now. It's the gem, I think.
Some guy went out there and painted, the waterfall,
No,
What?
what did he do?
painted
Oh, he did a painting
it,
of it.
painting of it, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
And it's hanging on the wall
Oh,
at
nice.
8 Mile, but it's not the greatest, but it's interesting that,
There's not even a trail to that waterfall.
No.
You
Yeah,
push what?
believe me, been over that many times.
Yes.
Just working slowly through the layers of things. that need to
speaking
be
of
worked.
which, is there any update on, your trail with, Kim Bradley on?
I spoke to Kim and
And
she
property.
said that the trail would likely be approved at the end of the day, but that we should continue to send pester emails, and that right now, the real holdup is the process of trail approval within DEEP, not our trail in particular. So they're trying to, and I asked, did that mean which department gets to review it first, more or less? And she said,
Yeah,
and there are those departments that don't like trails, there are those departments that are gung ho on trails, there are those departments that are, sort of agnostic, but just take their time, and so I guess they're trying to figure out who gets to look at it first. I think it's gonna be a few years before it's done, but just keep at it.
two other things, one, sorry,
That will go from
Hand property, which is on
across the
Mitchell.
hand property, right, to Lena from, Devil's
For-
Hop here.
East end of Lena, and into
Oh,
the
yeah,
state
okay.
property there, which is the hand property, and then head due north where it would connect with all of the trails in Devil's Hop Yard at the blue trailhead on Mitchell Road. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
What's the waterfall? Is the,
The waterfall is on the Nature Conservancy property, and it's really spectacular.
is it the one that, it's not the one that is right on Devil's Hop Yard?
No, you know where Lefebvre is?
Talking about Burnham Brook area.
Yeah, now it's, so now we're back to Burnham Brook.
There's another waterfall besides
Yeah,
that one?
how,
How far does our Lena go over the escarpment there where it drops down? Are we to the waterfall or down?
no, well, wait a minute, Lena, now,
No,
we're
you're
talking about two
talking,
different things.
I'm talking Lefebvre. I'm talking Lefebvre. Yeah,
The
Lefebvre.
distance between the southeast corner of the trail at Lefebvre to, through the trail route past that waterfall and over a little bridge and then back up onto the existing blue trail is 0.6 miles. It's really not a big deal. It's just getting the approvals to put it in.
I want to understand, does the Lefebvre Preserve go down to the brook or does it
No,
stop?
no, it
It
stops at the
stops at-
top,
at the top.
even before you get to the escarpment.
100 yards
Okay.
from the,
That's right, I should know
from
that.
the,
We hiked that, yeah.
from the drop off,
I think since Rob had blazed the trail all the way down,
yeah, he tagged it years ago.
I thought, well, maybe that we had.
But he was nowhere near the waterfall, he was farther in the middle, yeah. What were those two other things? Should have wrote it down. Oh yeah, I have a meeting tomorrow night with the Army Corps on hydrilla. They're gonna continue poisoning it, Salmon River, and Hamburg Cove. They want to. They're getting some resistance to it, but and the other thing was
Also,
Goodwin Trail. Yeah, we're gonna get the Goodwin Trail on the
Trail finder.
Connecticut Trail Finder. Yeah. We have a meeting coming up with the Goodwin Trail Committee, and that should be put us on the map, which would be a good thing.
Alan's not here, and I didn't hear anything about sustainability from him.
I can say a word.
Okay.
the committee is about to submit their application for gold certification, and it looks like they've got all the pieces together. So that's happening this month.
The garden updates, I got a couple of things from Gary. He's been working with a master gardener intern, and he said that he was at Petrel today cutting back the mugwort in the pollinator garden, but still a ways to go. Meadowsweet is overrunning the garden. It'd be good to cut some out and transplant it elsewhere. Same with bayberry. He also watered out the community garden. He's loosened up the viburnum that are out there. He watered the viburnum at Harris. And I was out at the community garden. We've got 2 double mock cherries, 13 cranberry viburnum, and 7 black walnut. And we really need to get those suckers in the ground someplace this fall, because their roots are kind of going down, and where he loosened up the viburnum, they kind of got shocked, and it was unfortunately the time when something happened with the water pipe out there at the community garden, and so they couldn't fill the tank, and he said they looked like garbage until last week, so they should be in better shape, but we really should put them someplace. So really focus on what we could do with them. I mean, we originally planned to put some on either side of the overlook. I don't know, with the
black walnut?
No, the viburnum. We were gonna put some, you know, like have it be a screen.
Yeah.
Put a couple on each side of the gazebo, but with the knotweed in there and the drip, I don't.
Yeah, that's why I thought the black walnut killed us.
The 3 black walnuts in there, we could put some more in there.
Yeah.
What about the recently cleared overlook area at Hatch for some of these things? And then
I brought that up.
And Ralph came up with an idea that was way too smart for me. When you cage these things, you just put them up about that far on the posts that you're caging, and then you can actually weed and get a weed whacker in under there. You just zip tie, which we've always done. You zip tie the caging to the posts, but lift it up 3 or 4 inches before you zip tie them to the posts, and then it makes it a whole lot easier to maintain. And that might be a good place for some black walnuts, because you could keep some areas cleared of other stuff.
Sure.
We could take care of those, but the viburnum really need full sun, and he said probably moisture ground. So, I mean, I was thinking urbanic, but we can't put them on the dam. Is there an area around the side where you could put a screen of viburnum? Or is there another pond someplace where we could clear an area of, you know, low undergrowth and put these? Gary said they're really nice when they go into flower, and, you know, they, as long as they're in the sun, they go pretty good.
Is that a tree or a bush?
The bush.
Is it the same as maple leaf viburnum? I mean, or is it a different thing?
These are cranberry viburnum, so I don't really know the difference. There was something that, you know, Gary had gotten at the, the Connecticut plant sale, the native plant sale.
Yeah, I have some cranberry viburnum, and it's a large bush-like type thing.
So we really need to find a place to put them in the fall and get them out of there.
Wet place.
Well, it doesn't have to be wet, but, you know,
It's not gonna be
up on the top of the hill at Hatch probably isn't the best place to put the viburnum, I don't think. Well, there's a lot of sun up there.
Yeah, we'll have to think about it.
So, I mean, we can consult with Gary. He's more than willing to continue working on this, especially, you know, with the master gardener intern he's got working with him.
Yeah, I think, you know, the Salmon River Overlook is probably, I mean, more the merrier there.
Yeah, well, we could try an area away from, on the other side. At the,
Yeah.
toward the road where the knotweed hasn't gotten over there yet. And clear an area and do something there. But at any rate, you know, when you're hiking around, just think of whether we need a screen.
If we let the fields in Salmon Overlook go at some point and not mow, might we have some kind of a border that leads up to the gazebo, plant trees?
Well, that's where the apple trees are, but, so how big is your viburnum?
This point, probably about this tall.
How big do they get?
Well, they kind of grow to whatever room, you know, they're allowed to, but my understanding is up to like 8 feet.
You could put some down at the end on the other side, on the,
Near the
because there's
gate?
like 4 apple trees, but there's probably a space on each end. They flower in the spring.
Yeah.
I mean,
Flower in the spring, then berries in the fall.
it might be pretty inviting,
Yeah, there's plenty of room there.
but probably September, October, we should get these in.
Who mows that? Does the town mow that, or do you?
Yeah, hit or miss. Sometimes they'll mow it, sometimes they won't. But they're not gonna mow the fields anymore. If they mow anything, it's just gonna be the entrance and up to the gazebo.
I recently saw a beautiful open meadow in Old Lyme on Mount Archer Road. It's a preserve, and it's nice to have a meadow. They have a mowed path through it, but the rest is about that high and full of wildflowers.
So we asked, 2 years ago, we asked them not to mow it. And we went through the brush hog and made a path.
Yeah.
And then about a month later,
They mowed it.
you know, when the trees get bigger, it's
Yeah.
not gonna be as much of a problem, but that's gonna be years.
But it happens. I've seen it.
Anyway, we really have to get them out there, so,
Yeah,
you know,
no.
if anybody has some ideas about where to, you know, put in a nice flowering bush.
Well, I'd say
Or-
Hatch and Salmon Overlook probably are the best candidates.
I mean, it might be a good screen behind the picnic table or something, you know, like in the middle of that area that we were talking about keeping clear at Hatch.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna have a work party in September, October to take this out, and then the question will be, does anyone wanna take charge of the community garden next year? Or do we just turn it back in? Once we get the plants out of there,
Oh, I see, yeah, okay.
unless we wanna keep putting plants in that will be, I don't know, given away to people if we don't plant them.
Sounds like we need a person like Gary to take that seat.
Yeah,
See if we can rope Susan into it. She's a master.
well, that was his suggestion too.
If you're watching, Susan. On the same subject of September, when do you think I should be putting these hunting signs out?
Hunting season starts.
Anybody know?
I think September wouldn't be too early.
September.
15?
September is usually.
Bow. Yeah, September 15th is bow.
Yeah, and I think, you know, it probably either right before or right after Labor Day is probably
Yeah,
a good time to put them up.
okay. Just crossed my mind.
I don't know that many people will be out there early in the morning with a bow hunter, but you know, we're gonna hear about it.
So to fill you in, we had some orange signs printed up that we're gonna put on the kiosks that say hunting is allowed in this preserve during hunting season.
Because a lot of people, notwithstanding all the newspaper articles that we print that say that, a lot of people express
horror and surprise when they're in there and they run into a hunter or hunting cameras and stuff like that. And just give them fair warning.
Reserve monitor. We unfortunately have someone who's had an illness in the family and will not be able to continue doing Lena, so we'll have to get somebody for Lena. If anybody knows somebody to contact, let me know and I'll write him a little note on official paper.
I could ask Wendy how often she gets out there. Wendy McNeil, she hikes a lot.
Okay. Because I don't think I have her on the list.
No, no.
Well, if you want to contact her, if she
Yeah.
wants to.
Yeah, I'll give her a call. She usually, if she sees something out there, she usually reports it to me, so.
Okay. All right, I approved 2 bills so that they could get them paid before the end of the new fiscal year. Or the overlap. Your bill from Essex Design finally came in.
They paid that, right?
Well, he said that he sent a bill, but nobody saw it. So he eventually got a hold of Dawn and said, why aren't you paying your bills? And she said, well, we don't have a bill. So,
It's a new owner,
Is it at Essex Design?
Essex Design in Tylerville.
so I've approved on behalf of this committee $345 for the work that you had done on signs. Also Essex Printing for all those maps that we got last month, $495. And again, it was one of those things where they wanted to close the books on last fiscal year. So those have been approved. We have 3 more bills.
Does that mean Jim Whitehead is no longer at Essex Design?
He was still there, but I don't know how much longer.
All right, we have a bill from Shagbark for spark plug, saw chain file, and engine fuel, $44.23, with Bernie's name attached. And we have 2 bills from Essex Printing for the QR codes. One is for $48.75 and one is for $75. So,
Motion to approve the bills.
second. Anybody opposed to paying the bills? We'll pass them along to Dawn. Thank you. Discussion from commission members. Did you want to say something about the trail maps or redoing the trail booklet, or is it just something that's so low on the priority that it's not going to happen?
I'd like to think about it down the line, since 8 Mile got their funding for next year. I think maybe we could consider it. But she's in a pinch right now to get this money spent before September, so there's no reason to rush into it. But does everybody know about the trail map, the old trail map that was put together?
I don't.
For East Haddam. It only had a couple of the conservation pieces in it. Mostly it was Land Trust and Nature Conservancy, Chapman Pond and Burnham Brook. And it was put together by Rob Smith and Sue Merrill when she was, I think that was, 2011, 2010 or something.
2011.
And it's just a paperback, little black and white printed book. And since we have all our digital files now and all the maps, I was thinking maybe a hard copy of something wouldn't be a bad idea. As Pat said to me, how are you gonna distribute this? And I guess that's the key piece to it, you know, like, not everybody likes this digital world, and to have a booklet that you can put in your backpack and pull out, I'd certainly like one. But, so something to think about in the future.
Shared park might allow you to distribute them, and you might be able to leave some at what was called the Getaway, and I can't remember what it's called,
Postcard now, yeah.
Might be something that the schools would be interested in.
So I have an electronic copy that I don't know the exact term, but I ripped it off of the PDF and I have it in Word format now. It's actually, I talked about it with Joanne and Pete with the Land Trust, and what we were talking about was the way it's formatted now, it basically just says, you know, this is a 3-mile loop and, you know, it was donated by such and such, and there's this really cool rock formation, and here's the map. But it's the old maps, it was like kind of hand drawn, and so to update it, what we were thinking was you would put down, there's a section here that if you're using a cane, don't go. There's a section here that if you're here in the spring, you'll see wildflowers if you go this way. And so a little bit more about each one. One of the things that we were talking about was that it would almost have to be digital so that you could keep it up and keep adding. And the Saunders property, that the way it is on the Land Trust website, you know, it has a geology, and you know, something like that is very informative, and it would kind of spur people to go, hey, yeah, I'm interested in seeing this, that, or the other thing. Town said, if we do something as this committee, since we're a town commission, we have to have it up on our site, and getting priority to do anything is not going to be there. And then any change has to be FOIable. So the way they do it now is if you have a PDF of a map, drop that sucker in, take the old PDF and move it off into an archive. But if you've got different sections and they're not all together, it makes it difficult for them to archive them. So then it gets back to how do you distribute it when you don't know who's going to use it? Do you want a copy? Okay, I can give you a copy. But am I going to put them out at Hometown Market? No. You know, so all right, so how am I going to get to the town people? Hey, Barry, you walk a lot here. Pat, well, Dean's not in there saying you only walk Dean's. I'm not, you know, it's one of those, say, how do you keep the printing costs down? And then how would you update it as something new came up?
You don't update a booklet. I mean, you know, a new edition.
Well, the new edition would be, what, 15 years? Something like that. I mean, if there were, we had talked, John, about one of the senior projects. You know, you live across the street from Urbanic and your great uncle was involved. You want to do a little write-up, you know, give us a little more information. What would you tell somebody about this? So there's ways that you could get into it, but ultimately you're going to have to, you can get volunteers to do a lot of legwork, but then what are you going to do with it? So I think those are things that, you know, they need to be discussed.
Yeah, yeah.
I still think if somebody was interested in a senior project, and, you know, I think somebody was gonna do a write-up about Hayward at one point. Uncle or somebody was, but you kinda have to keep on them, because it just doesn't happen. I mean, if anybody wants to see what the booklet was like, I can email it around. But I don't quite know how we can overcome some of the logistics of keeping it up.
You're talking about an e-booklet, not a hard.
Well, see, we were talking about a printed booklet, because the e-booklet has its own set of issues. Who's gonna host it? The town doesn't want us to go outside of the town network. So you kind of have some constraints there.
We have a website. We have a Conservation Commission website, don't we? Or some kind of a.
But we aren't the ones that can change it. There's only one person that can
Town of
change
East
it.
Haddam
Yeah.
maps.
Um,
If you open,
we have a Facebook presence too, don't we?
we do have a
I
Facebook
know
page.
Maureen has been.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a venue. But I'm very partial to printed material. Something that, people can decide that this is something they do want in a hard copy. Because they can pass it around. That's why I mentioned schools. Like we're working with the middle school on issues like watersheds. And that'd be a great teaching tool.
I think it's something to kick around. It's like we're just gonna have to deal with.
I think maybe to
the issues
start
one at a time.
out, we could do it in a digital format. With, one page is the map, and on the other page is a description, like you say, of don't hike this. The degree of difficulty hiking this trail, and what you might see, and time of year best to hike, and then if it could morph into some kind of a booklet someday. I'm thinking in my head, I'm just gonna go home and I'm gonna print the pages. I was out at Chagru, I guess, and no, it wasn't Chagru. It was something. It was somewhere, and I lost I forgot where what color trail was going where. And so I pulled up Town of East Haddam maps, and it's all right there, right on your phone, There's no description or anything like that. There's no.
No, it's pamphlet.
Yeah.
And that's what you get when you hit the QR code. You get the pamphlet that's on the town's website.
Yeah, but I'm not when I'm in the woods and I'm pulling this thing up, I don't have a QR code to draw from.
Right.
Right.
But you could, before you walked in.
Yeah.
QR code, or you can go to the East Haddam website too. Yes, you're right. There's multiple ways to get into it if you have connectivity.
Yeah.
I will send around the booklet and then the mock-up that I made for Linda when she told
Put
me.
something together.
I did, and she told me it was too complicated and FOI and some of the constraints they have in manpower, that it probably wasn't going to happen. If we want to update the pamphlets, that's easy because they're PDFs. So you just swap one PDF out for the other, archive it. But this had, different sections that you could change as you learn more about place. And I'll send that around.
Okay.
It's something that we could at least begin to put together. How it gets hosted eventually, how it gets printed eventually. Like I say, if there's a student that's looking for a project and something that's near and dear to their heart, go for it.
One quick thing, the state of Connecticut announced a week or two ago the recent OSWA grants, and we got money to supplement the money we had already been promised from the 8 Mile to buy the R. Smith connection, which is the 14 acres next to the 14 acres of Wallsway. So we will have a nice 28-acre connection between our Miller Farm Preserve at the Land Trust and Lena. The new trail through Rob's property will probably take off from the existing trail. You'd go in a few hundred feet from the existing Wallsway entrance, hook to the left, loop around, and come back out, and there'll still only be one entrance back into Lena at the back, so we won't put a new entrance in on Rob's property.
That's not done yet.
The trail, no. It's full. Actually, we may not even do it this fall because we may not close until next year. We still need an A2 survey, and that can't be done until the leaves fall and all the other things. But anyway, it's all, we're fully funded now. That's going forward.
That probably was never surveyed when Rob bought it, or?
It had been surveyed, but an A2 survey is a special animal that goes to a level of detail you wouldn't believe with respect to the number of pins per X feet, the width of the pins for particular purposes, and it comes along with a property description, and all of that has to be reviewed by the state. So.
Do you remember like a year ago, we did a lot of trailblazing and put some bridges in that Lena extension along the road that goes back there? Is there an entrance back into that area that it's a very extensive area? From, do you have to go all the way to the Lena parking lot to get to the?
No, you can get in from Tater Hill Road.
Tater Hill Road?
Yes. And in fact,
Way.
do you know where Wallsway is? Do you know where the Miller Farm Preserve is?
Yes.
Do you know that there's a big parking lot and a little parking lot?
Yes.
And right across the
Okay.
street from the little parking lot is a sign that says Wallsway,
Okay.
and you can walk straight through there
Okay.
and end up in Lena.
So, but you can't, the road that goes to Lena there's no access that way. That's the access that we used when we worked on it.
Right.
But that.
Well, the Lena parking lot is your only way in
that's the
from
only
that
way in
end, and the Miller Farm parking
Okay.
lot is the way in from the other end. And if we're lucky, then up on Mitchell Road someday, we'll have access in through the hand property down. Up there.
Walls Way, courtesy of
Donated by David and Alice Willis. Holy Grail of our land acquisition to connect those things.
Okay. Is there anything else anyone would like to bring up? All right. I checked about an hour ago and there were no comments online. Our next meeting is the day after Labor Day, on September 2nd. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
Anybody opposed?
Don't think so.
I
Adjourn.
hate to start off this way, but I will.
Adjourn this meeting.
No, going hunting.